Hey guys, yesterday I was host of one of the first après-ski alcohol-free parties ever. I'm at 2,300 meters in the mountains of Austria. Look at this beautiful view. Isn't that amazing? Yes, today will be the second time. We will talk about that in a second. There were some things going on in the industry we have to talk about in this podcast. So I wrapped everything up in a short and brief episode 248 of the Pinot and Pixel podcast. So right now, have fun with tariffs, with non-alcoholic options, and with a bit of a change in drinking culture. Let's go. Welcome to the Pinot and Pixel podcast episode number 248. 9 topics in total, and I would like to start with one of my favorite topics, UK wine tourism. The UK wine industry has shown that there is a big potential for wine tourism and the options that come along with it, cellar door sales, making your brand more present, more public, more known. And a recent study showed that the UK has boosted its wine tourism with 55% more visitors in 2022. And right now, WineGB is trying to push wine tourism in the UK way further with some suggestions, recommendations, and we are talking about a cellar door tax relief, for example, duty relief, for example, so you are able to buy wine by the glass or in the bottle cheaper at the winery, experiencing the brand, getting a feeling of what English wine is all about, and it's absolutely amazing. The quality level is at least good, if not super good, so I highly recommend it. And in August, they will come up with something called the WineGB Guide to UK Wine Tourism, which can also help you navigating through the amazing wine industry in the UK. And last but not least, I want to recommend you the podcast episode with Sandwich Barton, because in my opinion, Sandwich Barton has shown, I called it the blueprint for wine tourism in the UK, with restaurants, bars, guided tours, rooms where you can just stay for one or several days, experiences in the vineyards, and just amazing wines. The team is incredible over there. So this is a blueprint. I recommend you my podcast episode, the interview with Charlie Brown. The link is in the show notes. We head over to the US, where there were recent speculations on what will happen with the wine portfolio of Constellation Brands, because some insiders said that it might be possible that they will sell it to big players. And there are several reasons for that, and of course people are still speculating on it, but I mean, the premiumization trend that is seen in spirits also shows that you might be better on if you just focus more on spirits. They have seen lower margins when it comes to wine sales. The wine consumption generally is dropping worldwide. So bigger brands such as Constellation Brands might consider selling their wine brands. And there is also a guy in this interview who said that companies are re-evaluating their portfolios and doubling down on their core strengths, which might be spirits for Constellation Brands. And I love this quote in the article I want to read out for you. Michael Wang Bickler, and he's a Napa marketer, and he says, if I'm a business consultant and I didn't know anything about the history of the wine business, but just look at it as a business, then I would tell my client, this is silly. Why are you considering doing so to sell it? But if you take a deeper look at the margins and the costs of goods, at the effort that goes into marketing and selling a good bottle of wine, and if you don't do it because you just love the wine business, then you really have to ask yourself, why are you doing it? So we might see that Constellation Brands will sell its wine portfolio to 1, 2, 3 big players in the future. You will hear that on this podcast for the first time. I mean, this is also paying on several fears that are currently kind of shifting, or at least playing a bigger role in the market. And one of them are the tariffs in the US. And of course, wine might also be a thing for Constellation Brands to bring it to the US. There are big brands that belong to the portfolio. Basically, we're talking about American brands. Nevertheless, the whole market is afraid of the tariffs. So they're getting nervous and saying it's a sad situation. And I mean, it depends on who you're talking to, but I would say they all agree on the fact that it might be just bad for the industry. there is no doubt that a 200% tariff would be catastrophic for wine, for spirits in the industry globally. And companies are reacting differently. Some stop importing or just selling because they say, if I order right now and I have to ship it, and usually they're using ships because it's cheaper, it's taking longer, but then it could arrive after the tariffs have been put up, and then you aren't able to sell them anymore. So you might lose the whole investment. Other ones are seeing up to 50% rises in orders because people just a bunch loading their wines. We were talking about this in the last episode, in the weekly update 246. They're buying spirits, champagne, prosecco like hell because they are afraid that tariffs might come. So they just want to stock up. And then there are some companies and also consortiums, we were also talking about that are saying, well, he might have said that it will be 200%, perhaps, but it might end up with 25 and we are able to cover that, or maybe there won't be any tariffs at all and it's just to get some attraction, get some spread in marketing and just, confusing people. This might also be one reason. So it will definitely have an impact on the industry anyway, if it's not already having so. But there are changes going on in the wine culture, especially in Europe. And one of my favorite articles this week is France is falling in love with wine again. A recent study of a company called So Wine in collaboration with the Dinata company from the United States. They have done this 15 times right now. And this recent study showed that the French people are loving wine again. And even way more than beer, the study brought out that the most popular drink among the population in general is wine, and it has overtaken beer at the age group of the 18 to 25-year-old for the first time. There was a rise of 6% in total. So right now, the younger people are drinking more wine, are more interested in wine than in beer. And this might be good for the wine industry because they have also seen a decline. And when you look at the numbers, what are the most popular drinks? It's white wine, first place, then champagne. And you know that champagne is struggling a lot with selling their wine. It's wine. Rosé, third place, and fourth place is red wine. The most popular varieties are Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, which doesn't seem to be a surprise in France. So there is an interest in these varieties. And in addition, there is a growing interest in no-low options. So people are focusing more on healthier drinks, lower calories, and no-low alternatives are filling this gap, are jumping into this gap. So more people are interested in the no-low options. And the study also brought out that 17% have already tried alcohol-free options, but only 19% were satisfied with the taste. So there's a lot more storytelling we have to do. You have to taste way more. So if you have tried it once or twice, try more. And these were some of the most interesting chats we had yesterday at the alcohol-free aperitif party. There were so many people said, I'm trying this for the first time. And it's actually good. So we should try more stuff like that. So if I can recommend you something, please try more alcohol-free options. And it's not there to replace your favorite wine style. It's just offering something in addition. We're talking about inclusion again. And talking about rituals and the change in consumer behavior, a recent study of the alcohol-free brand Iceberg brought out that people are less interested in these rituals that are, set along or around wine consumption, opening a bottle with a plop of a cork or just using a decanter, stuff like that. And this might also be caused by this new era of wine drinkers that are put in this article of, there's the quote, let me give you the quote, the time-honored traditions of wine from using a corkscrew to decanting are being replaced by a grab-and-go mentality. So people are more interested in just having a drink while sitting with friends or peers, consuming wine just in parallel, but it's not the center of attention anymore. And in my opinion, this is actually not bad. You can be a wine nerd and serve a bottle of wine, talk about it for half an hour and just enjoy this amazing product. But if it suits the occasion of just giving you something good to drink while having fun with your peers, this is actually not bad at all. And it maybe even can contribute to high consumption of wine, people that are interested in drinking less but better. So in my opinion, this is a good development we are currently seeing. Talking about drinking rituals, there was a funny article this week. We have talked a lot about cruise ships and the rituals and the drinking behavior on cruise ships. And there is one, especially in the US, I would call flat rate drinking or binge drinking. So right now, cruise ships are offering a flat rate where you just pay, in that case, roughly about 90 to euro, 190 to 100 euro, where you can drink whatever you want during the day. But there are rules set that you are only allowed to do this beginning from the second day you are on the ship, on the cruise ship. And of course, a huge shitstorm was going on because I want to drink my alcohol and I paid $90 for it. And the interesting fact is that this is given by federal law. So they want just to ensure that people are not drinking too much. I don't know, because it's a bit weird because you are still allowed to pay for it, but just glass by glass or bottle by bottle. Nevertheless, it's federal law and you're not allowed to, but beginning from day 2, you are so. But there are some other rules you have to keep in mind. One is you're only allowed to drink alcohol at the age of 21 or more, no matter where the ship is currently riding, because the company still belongs to the US. So 21 years of age at least. In addition, you're not allowed to buy bottles, and you only can consume a maximum amount of 9 drinks per day. And my favorite one is you only are allowed to drink it separately. So you're not allowed to share the glass with your peers, because there might be some people who, just don't pay for the flat rate, and you shouldn't share that. It's quite interesting, actually. And in addition, what we have also talked about a lot is that more and more cruise ships are interested in offering no-low options, because it's about having an alternative, something in addition. We are seeing brands jumping onto the train and just offering their no-low options on cruise ships. And well, it's a no-brainer. Maybe we will have kind of a flat rate in the future for no-low options. We're talking about high-quality options, not sodas or water. And talking about the rise or just the popularity of alcohol-free, Spain is going big when it comes to high-quality no-low wine. And one of the leading companies over there is Torres. We recently talked about the huge investment in the facility for producing no-alcohol wine, because they said we wanted to focus more on this growing potential, on this growing category. We invested a lot, and it is an opportunity. And it is not necessary that we are able to sell it under DOs, under the wine law, the Spanish wine law. It could help in marketing, saying we have a non-alcoholic version of Rioja, but we also think that the market is not prepared for stuff like that yet. But we want to offer products like this. It's interesting, it's driving sales, it's also contributing to our revenue of the company, even though we are a wine company. It is also wine. We can get rid of, wine we are not able to sell, which I guess Torres hasn't struggled with a lot. So it's smart to invest in stuff like that. And maybe in the future, there will be options where you are able to sell DO wines that have been dealcoholized, or at least partially dealcoholized. And one of the brands that knows quite well how to deal with an ongoing trend of alcohol-free options is Pernod Ricard. We will talk about that in a second. But before that, I want to give you a recent study of a platform called WeddingPlace, which is concerned about weddings. The name suggests it, I guess. And they are seeing a huge rise, a huge demand in non-alcoholic options during weddings. And in this study conducted with 7,600 couples, 78% said that they have offered or they want to offer non-alcoholic options during their weddings. It's not a trend anymore. There are many people that are driving, focusing on their health, or just don't want to drink alcohol when they want to celebrate for 8 or 10 hours, maybe even in the sun. So they want to offer it, they offer it, and it is so popular that every 4th of 5 couples is offering non-alcoholic options. And we're not only talking about wine, we are talking about virgin cocktails, we are talking about aperitifs. And I mean, one of the products that are most suitable for me to be a good alternative without alcohol is something like an Aperol Spritz. So we have just the bitter orange, which is present as an aroma. You have this bitter and refreshing taste of the sparkling water and the acidity. And maybe this is the reason why a brand like Pernod Ricard says, we are launching our non-alcoholic aperitif. It's called Ramazzotti Aperitivo Arancia. It will be launched in Germany and Austria, which are quite popular for non-alcoholic, no, for the Aperol Spritz version. So no-brainer. It will sit on the shelf for 14 euros, very, very affordable, and you can have so many Aperol Spritz without alcohol. And I know that couldn't be called Aperol Spritz because it's caught up to the brand, but we are talking about an alcohol-free option in that case with this bitter orange smell and taste, the refreshing feeling you get when you drink it, and it's a no-brainer to have stuff like that. It's working pretty well with other brands, and it's one of the fastest growing spirits categories when we talk about alcohol-free. For Pernod Ricard, it's a no-brainer to have an alcohol-free options like that because they say it's one of the fastest growing spirits categories. They already have an alcohol-free gin available, several other brands, NA canned products in New Zealand and the US, so they are well prepared for a more mindful future, I would say. Now I'm going to host the second version of the Aperol free. No, there will be Aperol for the alcohol-free après-ski party in Austria. If you're interested in that, follow me on social media, Pinot Pixel. I will talk about that. I will do some documentation on that. I'm super excited. The first version yesterday was an absolute success. So if you're interested in that, have a look on social media. If not, have a wonderful weekend. See you on Wednesday with episode 249. Ciao, ciao.